and gentlemen, members of the exec team, welcome to our show with the one and only Patricia Susan Imbuchi.
Okay, Patsu, welcome to the Leadership Academy show.
Ooh, wow, whatever it is. Well, it is nameless, by the way, and Wabu is not here. So, allow me to ask you, Patricia, in 2021, you were the best student in the Fearless Academy, aka Africa Super 30. Wow, what was that year like for you?
Let me tell you, that was one of my best years of life till now. Honestly, because I was given an invitation to be able to come and become an intern and to become a leader. The invitation was to be trained to be a leader for Africa. So I really didn't understand what it meant, but also because God had already prepared my heart to be able to join it, I was more than willing to join. So when I joined the course, we were doing like the smallest to the most basic things, just like reading the Bible every single morning.
Before you go there, let me just cut you short because we will get there at some point.
Okay.
Allow me to ask you, you made your application.
Yes.
Do you remember how invasive the application form was like?
Yes, I remember.
Let's start there. Asking you about the last time you smoked, had sex.
I was like, should I be honest? Should I lie? So it was really invasive. It asked really personal questions of who you are, and I think it was also a test of your loyalty and the test of integrity of who you are. Because if you lie, honestly, during the course, we would know if you're smoking bang, would have known if you're struggling with sex, would know if you're struggling with something. So the invasiveness was a door to be able to begin our pastors to disciple us for the rest of the year.
Wow. And then now you get into this space, and for a year you are giving your time. Just tell these guys, what amount of time were you giving of yourself during that year? I was giving 6 days a week, Tuesday to Sunday. I was giving hours from 8 till 4 p.m. 4 p.m. for real?
Yes, 4 p.m. At some point it became 1 p.m. At some point we would stay in church longer. Our pastors would leave us there, would leave church at 8 p.m., 9 p.m. just because we formed family and we began to love church. And so we didn't see the essence of going back home early, but would basically just remain in church. Even people who never used to have voices to sing would just be on the altar, have the mixer on, mics on, and just enjoy God's presence.
Woo. Yeah. Wow. So now let's go to the things you guys were doing.
Yeah.
If you may well remember, we had a 3-prong kind of process where we were teaching you for information, where we were putting you at a place where you can imitate from one another and even from people in your action groups and your action group leaders. And then there was that place for immersion.
That one.
Let us start first with the small one. You are trying to climb the tree from the top, Patricia. Now, information. You guys read the Bible daily.
Yes.
Could you tell us how that looks like for the class?
So it was very fascinating because as we were reading the Bible daily, we would go through Genesis to Revelation with no supervision. Pastor Milton, we would even have debates where we want to fight each other because of our different opinions. But Pastor Milton would never ever come in between unless the roof is really on fire. So that really helped us build a consistency in reading the word, receiving revelations on our own, and understanding the different perspectives, the different revelations that God gives people. It was really beautiful. Actually, I remember I had never read the entire Bible throughout my whole life.
Yes.
I had only started the journey of reading like one chapter, like stories, Ruth, Job, those are the only things that I read. But as I read through the Bible, I remember there were some books I did not even understand. But as you continue, you find that your mind and spirit was able to capture that, and then you'd be able to conjoin what you saw or what you learned. And so that was really fascinating for me.
That's interesting. And then we had classes, teachings every day, where on Tuesday we would do the character of a kingdom leader. Wednesdays, I think we did the mindset of a kingdom leader. Soki worked with you on Thursdays on the worldview of the kingdom leader, and then lastly you did the skills on Fridays. How was the time of teaching for you? The content, Nini, and remembering that you guys were also in the Fearless Institute, not just the academy alone. Tell us about your learning.
So my times in teachings in class, I believe, were also part of my best experiences while doing the Africa Super 30, only because our minds were being sharpened to things that we either thought we knew or we absolutely did not know about. Especially in character, you get to understand that as a leader, you're supposed to be a servant leader. You're just not a leader by title. That was really key. The different worldviews that the world carries. I remember there's a class we did where you taught us on this South African pastor who was like the flying pastor, and how people view religion and how people carry the church. Like, it was very wholesome. It would teach us on love and relationships. It would teach us on like, it was truly wholesome. By the time you're done with the class, whomever you walked in the class, you come out completely a different person. So that was really, it was really top notch for me.
Top notch, including making breakfast for yourselves, washing dishes.
Let me tell you, we fought for those things. There are always some petty cases. Or this group is not washing dishes, or this group is supposed to make breakfast, they've not. If this group is serving food is never enough. It brought disparity in class and division. But after a while, we got to learn, and we were actually pointed out on the mistakes that we were doing. But honestly, it built a certain discipline to show how to serve others, how to be a leader who thinks of others before thinking about yourself. So those little menial nitty-gritties were also very important.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And then there was this situation where we also had you guys go out to do evangelism.
Yeah.
Tell us about that space.
So guys, Fridays were our evangelism days. My God.
And on empty stomachs, you should tell them.
Yeah, we were fasting. And then we were going outside for like 3 hours. We come back, we are like, guys, are you serious that we are really not eating? So guys even started becoming crafty by buying themselves bhajia and everything. We got to a point where we became crafty with fundraise for ourselves, and then we'd make sausages and bread maybe afterwards, after we came back. But the evangelism moments were very eye-opening. Like, sometimes you think that you're evangelizing to someone and you're the one who's preaching the gospel to them or bringing hope to them, but after they've given their life to Christ, after you've spread that hope, actually there's something that God is working in you. So I remember during one of the classes when we were sent, and we were actually with Wanjao. It was his first time, I think, with Nemo joining the class. So this day we go out for evangelism, and then that day I won 16 souls.
16?
Yes.
In a day like this?
By myself.
Ninja.
And all of them were mechanics.
Wow.
Actually, most
so people older than you?
Yes. And I remember to date, if I pass by outside that garage, everyone would be like, Mambo Pasi, habari yako? I'm like, even one started katiaing me. He's like, I want to make you my wife. I was like, what? No, you can't be serious.
Oh my gosh. From evangelism to spouse.
Yeah.
Gosh.
So the evangelisms would really push us out of our comfort zones, because we had people who are introverts, people who are afraid of expressing themselves, even talking to themselves. But this one literally pushes you out of yourself. So sometimes you'd find there are people like us who are yappers, natural yappers, and then you'd find somebody who's literally quiet. So as a team, would push, like, so if I win one soul now, if I talk to somebody now, so we'd move in rotation, so everyone gets an opportunity to also speak about God and spread the gospel. So
talking about evangelism and reaching out to people, in that year you guys did some amazing things in outreach, of which one of them was the Spread the Love, where you guys went out there in different groups to just touch different people groups. And one of it was to just get some elderly people in Eastlands, minister to them, wash their houses, paint their houses, and stuff like that. How was the experience for you? Because I know you did some significant things, even as an individual. during that time?
Yeah, so it was really a beautiful challenge because we got to minister to different elderly people in different locations, because we had one in Buruburu, we had one I think in Kayole, and one was in Dono or somewhere of the likings. And so each group was given 30,000 to think and comprehend as to how we'll be able to help the different elderly people. So I remember in my group, but I just didn't do it for my group alone, but for the whole SDL. I remembered when I was working for corporate, there was a lady, a manager at Superform that I worked with. I was also doing content then. I approached her to help us with getting mattresses, and sure she did. I think she gave us like 10 or 16 mattresses, and we were able to dignify the old people by resetting where they sleep. We were able to buy them new things for their house, buy and give shopping to their house. There's a shosho, we even got to a place where she got a new wheelchair. Like, it was very impactful. Like, it was so beautiful to see what as a group we're able to do, and it was just a challenge. Like, guys, and Pastor Milton, how he does it with his hands. Go! Like, what?
Kwisha mimi. My reputation has just been tarnished right now.
Where are we going? What are we doing? So we had that, taking care of the elderly. There was one elderly lady who I think was also crippled or something. The group there also helped her. They bought her new gas, they paid for her rent. Like, we did incredible things. Like, the compassion that we showed was really beautiful, because after that I even remember we kept having relationships with the same people. It was so beautiful. The same SDL, we were able to paint the wall in church and just make the church beautiful. So it was really...
So what did this... What was the result of these things in your heart as you just reached out to such people and even did outreach? What did it do to you?
So personally, it reminded me that God, as Isaiah I think 61, which speaks of when God tells us He's sending us to be able to bind the brokenhearted and to give hope to all these people. That was literally the same scripture that we carried. And just seeing somebody's face light up. I remember we literally cleaned Shosho's house. It was so dirty. Also, given that she's staying by herself, it had a stench in it. So we were able to just care for that. So it really caused me to have compassion and to believe that God sees. He sees, and even if everybody else will ever overlook you, there is one day that God will just come into your doorstep and remind you that you're His child, and He sees everything that's going on with you.
Wow. Wow. And again, as you spoke, you reminded me of something. At some point you guys went to Uganda.
Hey.
Tell us about the trip for just going to Kampala, ending up in PG, the spiritual gifts that you guys received in the process. Talk to us about that.
So before I talk about PG, I've just remembered something. So by this time, I was not only an intern, but you were also vetting me as your PA and all of this. So at that time, you sent me to Uganda by myself to go book everything.
Who does that? What
to go book a space for all the pastors that were coming, see the house that we are getting, coordinate where the other students were also going to come. Before I went to Uganda, I had coordinated the bus that was carrying like 54 other young people. So I had there was a lot of preparation to eat before that. But when we get to Uganda, Pastor Milton is like, okay, everyone's getting pocket money. I was like, yeah. We were like 30 young people, even 30 plus. Pastor Milton is like, you get money, you get money, you get money. And everyone is like, all right. So you really took care of us in that aspect. We get to the conference, we get to see and interact with different people from different backgrounds, different cultures. First time eating Uganda food, I love their G-nut sauce. Then after that, so the different groups are sleeping in different areas. So people would give you the different stories of where they're staying, how their hosts are treating them. Then we got to...
And you guys even had hosts.
Imagine. It was really beautiful. Somebody was even hosted by Papa Blaze, so like it was so beautiful hearing how they would speak about their marriage, how he took care of them after the conference. He would take them out, buy them Rolex, show them about Uganda and all of that. So it was a very wholesome experience. Then we went to Mavuno Kampala, never had been there. Like, guys, we had the best time of our lives. We carry so many memories. Sometimes I look at the photos and videos and I'm like, wow, this was really a time. Then after that, we went to Mpigi, where, hey, the person I left being in Nairobi is not the same person I left after Mpigi.
Yeah.
Like, the impartations that guys received was crazy. And I believe it's almost all of us were imparted with something.
Yeah.
And it was not small impartations.
Yes.
There's somebody I remember very clearly, her name was Dee. Remember Dee?
Yes.
Dee received a prophecy that she is going to become a great woman of God, and she's going to be in billboards almost everywhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, what is this? Then there were words that really cemented me and my faith and where I'm walking with Christ right now, and even how I am serving God. So that really changed the perspective of who I am, and just seeing how God would remove me from Nairobi to take me to Uganda for me to receive an impartation. I really don't take impartation services lightly.
Yeah, no wonder I came back one day and found you guys in the morning after coming from Kampala.
Guys, after
What
coming from
was that?
Kampala, on our regular Tuesday class, we knew we are coming for Bible study. So after Bible study, we start praying. We prayed for almost 6 hours. We are delivering each other. So who is receiving an impartation of what? Pastor Milton was just there with his camera. He's like, I don't know what's going on. I will not interrupt. To a point, he even just left us and went. So we stayed in God's presence for hours, consistently hours, and it was so beautiful.
Wow. Maybe a quick one, just to tap in. There was this time you guys went to Ole Sereni.
Oh yeah.
What did that do to you guys?
So
As part of the class, as in you went to Ole Sereni as part of the class.
So we were taken to Ole Sereni for a dinner as a whole class. We were told to dress up, guys, put on makeup, we had heels, everything.
You even had training before?
Yes, Mom
how to
Pizzi.
eat.
Yes, Mom Pizzi took us through a whole training as to how to use cutlery, what plate is what plate, what cup do we use, how do you sit when you are served, all of that, and it was so beautiful. So now, on the actual day of going to the restaurant, Pastor Milton did not allow us to sit as friends first of all. You had to sit with different people, and then in between we had the different facilitators and the different pastors sitting with us. Then we had, was it a full course meal?
A full course meal at Ole Sereni.
Paid. All you had to do is show up and look nice. So we got there, we were shown another different side of life, especially given that most of us didn't come from like well-off backgrounds. That's not a culture that our parents would not even think of that, or maybe they would, but they did not have the capacity and facility to take us to that. So most of us really felt loved. We were like, oh my God, if I get a man, this is how I want to be treated, this is where I want to be taken. So just being able to see that the 1 year was just not about information, but we were being given skills that would even take us into places where if I sit with a diplomat now, I know how to behave. If I sit with the execs now in a table, I know how to behave. I know how to use a fork and knife. Because some people didn't know even how to hold a fork and a knife. They were like, apana, me, I'll just eat this chicken how it is. So it was a lesson.
So, okay, maybe just summarize for us, because these stories seem like they can take a lifetime.
Oh, yes.
Summarize for us what your entire year then would have looked like to you. Oh, but you guys even graduated.
Yes, we did. We graduated twice. In the span of a month.
Yes.
We graduated for Fearless Bootcamp.
Yes.
But which I would say, if you're doing Fearless Bootcamp, don't do it by yourself. Do it to the group of people where you'll be accountable and be the leader of the group. Because when you're a leader, it makes it easier for you not to drop out. Because you always have to pull the other people alongside you. Because I had tried doing Fearless in 2020, then I dropped out. Then 2021, I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this. I ended up fundraising for the whole class to be able to print their books, guys to pay for the ISBN numbers. So graduating in Fearless, the whole class, like, we refused to leave anyone behind. That was a huge blessing. Then Fearless Academy itself, what? let me tell you, by the time we were done with the class, we were so sad that the year has come to an end.
Wow.
Because we fought, we cried, we were taught, we loved each other, we served.
Ate my ice cream.
Hey, we ate Pastor Milton's money. What? Thank you for treating us well and loving on us. That was so beautiful. Something I just remembered was what? The immersion class, Pastor Milton. Guys, I was only, I think, 19 or 20 something. I was immersed to preach in the main church.
You need to tell us about that.
Hey, I was like, God.
How was that for all of you? Because in your groups, you preached,
Yes.
you even led the campus on different months.
Yes.
Tell us. Hey, there are many
Le-
stories.
A
We were
lot of
closing.
stories. So, leading in the campus every month was very interesting. Because how does a pastor entrust you with the whole church? And I think the congregation were even afraid that, hey, where this church is going now, it might come to a fall. But it was actually a lesson of proper leadership. How do you lead this campus without your pastor being there? How do you take on critical decisions and things like that? It was amazing. I think we were all very afraid, but as Moses, and I think as we were being taught this year, using the brave heart someone, your boldness comes after the word. So when it comes to preaching, guys, I was shaking. I remember I was not able to sleep the whole night because I was anxious. I think actually the whole week I was anxious. I'm like, what am I going to say? It's the altar. I was like, no. But Pastor Milton would prep us. He would tell us, don't be worried. You would pray over us. Even that morning, you prayed over us. You asked us how someone looks like. This is how you speak. This is what you do. And then you would stand with us on stage, introduce us, and make the congregation receive us. So, hey, I have come far with this leadership journey. Who I am truly is from the Fearless Academy.
Okay. So, how would you, as your parting shot, tell us? What would you tell us? You ended up in Ghana.
Yeah.
And how did you end up in Ghana?
So, thanks again to you. We had gone for a conference where Bishop Dag had come to Kenya.
In Thika.
Yes, we didn't really expect much from it, but just to know who this man is, because Pastor M had already started speaking about him. So when we get there, day 2, which I was about to miss coming that day, Bishop Dag was like, we are giving a scholarship to any young person who wants to go to Ghana for Bible school. But what I had was any young person from Nyeri, so I was like, oh man, I wish I had have gone. Then I looked behind Pastor Milton, he's like, why are you seated down? I was like, great. Then took on the scholarship. We started preparing for it, then went to the Bible school. Going to the Bible school, what you had taught us in Fearless Academy actually made me stand out from all the students that we had in our class. So even by the time I was coming back home, the school was like, guys, we are losing an asset. So the training in the Bible school, I was literally in a Christian military boot camp. But what they did was they added onto what you taught us, but in a more intensive way. So I had never prayed for 7 hours. Praying for 7 hours was part of our exams. Praying for 1 hour, 4 hours. I had never done evangelism in a foreign land. The number of houses that I walked in that were witches' houses. My first evangelism, I was about to be beaten by a man with a stick. I was like, man, I'm done. But it was like these 2 experiences in ministry, they are the best. They've given me the most solid foundation.
Okay. Give us a parting shot on just your experience at the Fearless Academy. What would you tell these guys, even as you close?
Yeah. Equip the leaders while they are young, because God has something great for them. Youths will fully give themselves wholly when they're given a platform to lead and when they're shown and given a way as to what is required to do for them. And the thing is, once we understand and know our identity in God, then we are able to fully stay grounded in what God requires us to be. So even without you sending me to plant a church, my heart is truly into church and missions. I believe that's the calling that God has given me. So yeah, let's prepare.
Wow, you've heard it not from the horse's mouth, but from Patricia Susan's mouth. Great to have had this conversation, guys. Hope it has been a blessing to you. Ciao.
You sis.